Alright, Reverend Nightmare. Reading the Satanic Bible. The God you may save may be yourself. Chapter 2, Book of Lucifer. All religions of a spiritual nature are inventions of man. He has created an entire system of gods with nothing more than his carnal brain. Just because he has an ego and cannot accept it, he has had to externalize it into some great new spiritual device which he calls God. God can do all things that man's forbidden to do, such as kill people, perform miracles, gratify his will, control without any apparent responsibility, etc. If man needs such a God and recognizes that God, then he is worshiping an entity that a human being invented. Therefore, he's worshiping by proxy the man that invented God. Is it not more sensible to worship a God that he himself has created in accordance with his own emotional needs? One that best represents the very carnal and physical being that has the idea of power to invent a God in the first place? If man insists on externalizing his true self in the form of a God, then why not fear his true self by fearing God? Why praise his true self in praising God? Why remain externalized from God in order to engage in ritual and religious ceremony in his name? Man needs ritual and dogma, but no law states that an externalized God is necessary in order to engage in ritual and ceremony performed in a God's name. Could it be that when he closes the gap between himself and his God, that he sees the demon of pride creeping forth, and that very embodiment of Lucifer appearing in its midst? He no longer can view himself in two parts, the carnal and the spiritual, but he sees them merge as one, and then to his abysmal horror discovers that they are only the carnal and always were. Then he either hates himself to death day by day, or rejoices that he is what he is. If he hates himself, he searches out new and more complex spiritual paths of enlightenment in hopes that he may split himself up again in the quest for stronger and more externalized gods to scourge his poor miserable shell. Whether that be other people or other things to look at. In other words, he's disrespecting himself. That's a sign of low self-esteem. Also known as. If he accepts himself but recognizes that ritual and ceremony are important devices that invented religions have utilized that sustain the faith in a lie, is the same form of ritual that will sustain his faith in the truth. The primitive paganry that will give his awareness of his own majestic being added substance. When all religious faith in lies has waned, it's because man has become closer to himself and further from God, and closer to the devil. Quote, if this is what the devil represents, and a man lives his life in the devil's fame, with the sinews of Satan moving his flesh, then he either escapes from the cracklings and cacklings and carpings of the righteous, or stands proudly in his secret places of the earth and manipulates the folly-ridden masses through his own satanic might. Until that day when he may come forth in his splendor proclaiming, I am a Satanist, bow down, for I am the highest embodiment of human life.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Shemham Forash. Stop recording.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.